Yes, everybody, Russell West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. It's been quite a busy last 16 hours or so in West Ham history, isn't it? Been quite interesting. We're gonna dissect it. We're gonna go into it. We're gonna talk about Ben Rama. We'll talk about Fornals, but we want to talk about the game as well, because I think everything that's happened post game has sort of almost overshadowed the game. So we're going to go talk about the game. We'll do the player ratings and stuff like that. And I'm not going to be alone today. I'm not going to be alone. I'm joined by guys. When obviously we're all, a bit pissed off at half time, I mean, 1-0 down. This guy, he's a lifelong West Ham fan, and he probably got one of, a massive sort of milestone in his West Ham / musical career. He got his song played at half time by the stadium DJ. But he'd gone for a piss because I didn't tell him. But anyway, we're going to bring him in. We're going to bring Dan in. Dan from Kawala. How you doing, man? You all right?
Hey, mate. I've got to say, kick off by saying the most regrettable piss of my life. Pretty heartbreaking to be honest. But I did catch it. Exactly.
And as you said, you've got, you could watch it back on when you got home on TNT. I'm sure you paid for TNT. You didn't get on some illegal stream or anything to watch it afterwards. Of course not.
No comment.
Yeah. Very good. So for anyone new, Dan's man Kawala. How long's the band been going, man?
Quite a while now. To honestly, like we probably about kind of maybe 7 or 8 years now. We go kind of on and off. But yeah, it's just like it's in recent times getting to connect with West Ham a bit through the music has been a bit of a dream. To be honest, it's been absolutely class. We're actually I will admit now, early doors, that we're from North London, which I don't know if you wanted to boot me off early doors, but that's probably it's worth getting it out there first. But yeah, grew up in North London, but obviously all my family from the East End. So
yeah, it don't matter. And we played, and you can listen to it on Spotify now. American Adrenaline. It's a tune, man.
Poppy. It's a poppy one. It's poppier than we've ever been before. Yeah,
it would have been nice if we'd had if we'd been winning the game at half time or whatever, because it's all would have added to because it's a really nice poppy tune. But I sort of already assumed that I was going to play it anyway. But hey, don't matter.
Well, look. Firstly, thank you so much for playing it. It's a real dream. But also, yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, it's getting home and watching it back was funny because it was this amazing moment where you were probably right. I was probably the only happy person in the entire building, and watching it back and hearing the commentator absolutely slate West Ham's first half performance as my song's playing in the background was a thing of kind of mixed emotion beauty, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's bittersweet, isn't it?
Yeah, we call it bittersweet. Yeah.
Obviously, you were at the game yesterday. Where do we? To be honest, I think it was one of the most boring games I've seen for a long time at London Stadium. Would you agree?
I strongly agree. I think it's a really tricky one because I feel like I find myself about 5 minutes to go before half time, or like most home games, just being like, I think this might be the worst game I've ever seen. But this really took the biscuit. My brother is eternally positive when it comes to West Ham in a very respectable way. He supported Cresswell to the bitter end. Even he was just like, I'm struggling to watch this and enjoy it. It was what was it like? I think technically, if you're counting Ben Johnson based on his performance the other week, I think we played about 8 CDMs.
Yeah. It was a strange one, and although I wanted to differ it, sort of take away from the transfer window and just concentrate the game. Unfortunately, you can't, because I think it was intertwined very much so. As you said, I think one of the reasons that we played for centre and midfields were the fact was all of our left wingers were apparently just about to fuck off, and his hands were tied. Really,
it felt like confusing business.
Yeah, I think we're all really confused by it, and I think that the frustrating thing is, and again, we've had this situation before where there's been a lack of clarity, a lack of communication, official communication from the club. So we're sort of having to create our own narrative, and so with that, we get conspiracy theories, we get this and that, and it gets piecemealed out to their journalists. But if it was all fallen by the wayside, come out and say that straight away and own the story, rather than now you've got Leon saying basically West Ham will report you to the to FIFA. You've got the Real Betis bloke saying, "Oh, computer said no, but we'll get it sorted." And it's like we don't know what's going on, and
It's
that's
a bit of throwback. It's a bit of throwback. It's giving me Dildo Brothers energy window of
yeah,
I think it's a tricky. I mean, it's like I think it's for me. It's just like I was watching. I mean, admittedly, yes, I think it's fair to say that Fornals has not had the best season. Ben Rama's definitely not had the best season.
yeah.
But watching them, like watching us ship out all of our left-sided players in the same window and seeing them all linked elsewhere with no one coming in was concerning. And then to like see those clips of Fornals on the phone at the game trying to work out why.
Well, that's the thing. You see, because I saw him come off the coach in Cornet. So obviously, I said to my friend, I went to our WhatsApp group saying, "Oh, he's definitely not. He's definitely he ain't going because he's in his tracksuit.
Yeah.
He was in the team stuff, and then." Then it's transpired that apparently he was on the bench to start off with. That was the idea, and then he was
And then he
pulled
got
off the bench,
taken
so
off.
to speak. And then and then he just stood in the dugout in the sort of the little in the tunnel the whole game, behind all the others. And it's like,
Do you want a scoop? Do you want a scoop? He was actually on the phone to me going, "Get out the toilet. Your song's playing at half
that's
time."
what. Well,
Yeah.
I did say he did look really distressed afterwards, and that's probably why Joe Cole assumed his deal had fallen through, but actually it wasn't. It was like he was worried that Dan missed his song being played at half time.
Exactly right.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's and I mean, I had a few thoughts, and Anton did a really good show about it this morning. But I had a few thoughts about it, and what really frustrated me was it again shows. Well, actually, to be honest, I said it was one of several. If you look at the last sort of week and a half, there's been lots of issues which have been administrative issues. So obviously the Ben Rama thing, that's one. You've had the Fornals thing, that's two. We've had Osman deal, which apparently been talking to the wrong agent, the illegal agent or whatever, not his actual agent. And then the Otter deal, where it was a tax issue, which again seems like quite sort of backroom staff issues rather than playing staff, So it seems that, and I don't get what's happened, you know what I mean? So, it's, I mean, and the trouble is because we don't know, because the club hasn't said nothing. We have this, people will say, "Oh, is it because we did these, so it proved that we are incompetent and it was a mistake, or was it something more sinister behind it?" And I feel really sorry for Fornals. That's the one I feel really sorry for. Benny,
Yeah, I agree.
not so
Yeah.
much, but Fornals, I feel really bad for him.
It's tricky. It's tricky because I feel like it's been. I feel like it's just been a weird window for everyone. I mean, like I feel like it's been a quiet window for everyone. I mean, it's like probably been the quietest like January transfer window in a long
it has.
time.
I think
I think
last year
everyone's panicking with FFP maybe or whatever it is, but
definitely. I think last year I think January was like 800 and something million, and I think it's about 90 million this year. But I think also because because this year of FF or PSO, as they call it, this year coming through is the first year of without COVID restriction. Because obviously they've had some allowances, so people are really shitting themselves. So it may well be. It may well be, man. It may well be.
But it's strange. I don't know. I just feel like with the Osman thing, it was tricky because I mean I'm not going to lie and say I knew who he was before I saw the links. And watched the highlight reels. The classic thing. But like it did seem genuinely quite exciting. And I've got a few mates that are big Celtic fans, and they couldn't sing Jota's praises any higher. Do you know what I mean? And it was just a bit like, okay, well, this makes obvious sense because none of our left wingers have really performed in the last couple of seasons. And Cornet, yes, he's been plagued by injury. I'm still not 100% convinced he's got it in the locker. And I just feel like fresh blood would have been perfect and the perfect thing to push on.
I think it would be, and I think I personally think this was all set up beforehand, and it was, and I think they just carried on regardless. Maybe on a whim and a prayer that we were going to get someone through the door. Obviously, we were linked right at the end with Ismail Assar, and then we was obviously linked to maybe going back into Osman again. So maybe they were just hopeful of us being a last minute thing. They might have said yes or whatever, and the computer said no. And I mean, there's some in the chat about stuff about Brozier. I mean, I was really surprised that we didn't even put enough, because although we don't need a striker, it does open up the possibility of him playing up top and moving Bowen and Kudus to the wings, and it was a forward option. And if it's 2-3 million quid or whatever, we paid like 6 or 7 for bloody Calvin Phillips on loan.
Yeah. Also, I think what you said there is like I feel like depending on who we were aiming for or what we do aim for, transfer wise, it does kind of reshape the way we play, but in probably quite a progressive way. Like Paqueta is not a left winger and never will be. We bought him as a number 8, probably one of the world's best number 8s and Brazil's starting number 8. Playing him in the kind of 10 would work as well, really well. Moving maybe Kudus to the left, Bowen to the right, and a good centre forward. If we brought in a good centre forward, would do the job. But it's just, it's weird. And also like Antonio coming back, what's that going to do to the shape of the team? I don't know. It's all a bit. I feel like it's a bit. We've got too many. Almost like we're like over spoilt for central midfield players.
Yes,
and we have too many good central midfield players.
Yeah.
So when the Calvin Phillips deal came in, all my mates that aren't West Ham were like, "Oh, you must be buzzing with that." And I was like, "Oh, don't get me wrong. Like England starting. I mean, he didn't have the best start ever. Let's be honest. But like, bringing him in is like, I mean, of course he's a England starting. We looking at the business we did with Rice, selling him, spending that money on like to actually vastly improve our team in many areas, and then also bringing in England's other CDM is like probably the most class business you can do.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right. I mean, if you looked at it, I mean, without this craziness that happened yesterday, if we'd got rid of one, I think we could have coped with one. I think 2 we'd have had to put someone in, but I think we'd had a reasonable, not a good transfer window, but in comparison to everyone else, a reasonable one. I mean, I was listening to someone was talking about, I think it was on TalkSport, they were talking about Arsenal, and obviously Arsenal haven't bought anyone. A couple of kids went out on loan, but in terms of they've got money, they have a like they could easily have spent it on the striker they needed and still have money in the bank and still been in it, but they're so worried about FFP and it's just ruined the whole transfer window. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the summer as well. I mean, the fact is, if we had earmarked some money to spend in the transfer window in this one, then you would assume that gets transferred to the summer when we've got a massive rebuild job. But I think what's been quite interesting is how Moyes has distanced himself from the transfer activity. So the last two press conferences where he's been spoken about transfers, it's almost like that's Tim's job. So he's almost like distance. He's done to be honest, he's done well in that respect. Didn't do well yesterday. He openly admitted he played the wrong formation, didn't work yesterday. But when it comes to transfers, he was like, I think it's happening. I don't know. I'm just concentrating on the pitch, So he's quite clever in that respect. So he doesn't get sullied in that same tarnish with the same brush, because mud sticks, and this is like happens. It's happened a few times now with West Ham and direct players. And I'm just, as I said, I feel really bad for Fornals. I'd imagine he would have sorted out a house, he would have sorted out schools for his kids or nurseries or whatnot, and that's been completely pulled under his rug, or the rug's been pulled under him. But I feel it just seems that we almost use him like pawns. I wouldn't be surprised if Benny goes on strike, and then what does that do to the team morale, and would you rather have someone here who you're paying and he's not playing, or let him go to? It just seems very amateurish at the moment. But I don't really understand what it means. But
also, like you said, the knock-on effect there, like with also because I know that from what I know of the like French core of West Ham's team are incredibly close.
Yeah.
And like I wonder whether the knock-on effect of Ben Rama maybe like throwing his toys out the pram, and then maybe it's like maybe some other, like Zuma didn't have his best game yesterday. Not that's got to do it, got anything to do with anything. I think it seems like his legs are maybe not what they maybe once were, but
he just walks like an old man, doesn't he? I likened it to today when I was talking about him. It was almost like he was on an ice rink wearing trainers. He just seemed to couldn't stand up. It was like he had completely no control of his legs, and it's like, I just didn't get it.
He's tricky in a way because he's like, for the last few years that he's been at West Ham, he's been so consistent and solid. And I think that's what that's what you see him on the team sheet and you go, oh, at least we've got someone who can defend on there. But I don't think I've ever fully trusted him on the ball. Like he always looks a little bit stressful on the ball, but like now more than ever, I don't know if it's injuries or I don't know what it is, but he's just he don't like now more than ever. When he's on the ball, you're like, I don't know what you're going to do. Like that. Look, let's talk about the elephant in the room. That goal that we conceded yesterday was like, you could point the fingers at Calvin Phillips, but that pass to him was an absolute hospital pass.
If you're someone who hasn't played I don't think he started any Premier League games for. Well, I don't know when was the last time he started a Premier League
Like
game.
3 years or something. Yeah.
Exactly, it's his first ski. It's his first, game. He must be so nervous because you are nervous. You had a good clap from the fans and stuff, and then first second he just literally puts a hospital pass through him, and it was like, and then that was it. It was almost like he couldn't. I was listening to someone talking about it on the way home last night, and they were talking about where he hasn't had any form because he hasn't played, so he can't have form to fall back on. Whereas if Bowen has a shocker, or someone like Darwin Núñez literally keeps going. I love him because he just keeps going. He is chaotic. He is such a chaotic. It would really piss me off as a fan.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he keeps going. Unfortunately, Phillips hasn't got that in the back catalogue to fall back on. So.
Yeah.
Part of me is glad he got minutes because obviously if he plays on Sunday, he's at Old Trafford. He's currently a Man City player. He's played for Leeds. He's pretty much one of the most modern hated players at Old Trafford. If we had to play Liverpool, he's done the hat trick then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did feel sorry for him, man. I did feel really, really sorry for him. But yeah, I mean Zuma's never been bought in for his progressive 30-yard passes. He's a blocker, isn't he? And when he's standing in that box, he'll block anything, and he'll be.
Yeah.
But as soon as you give him the ball outside of the box, he seems to just crumble. I just hope we get bloody what's his face. I hope Agaird's back, mate. I just really.
But even then, he could be a bit unpredictable.
I'd
on the
rather
ball
have
as
him in
well,
and
like,
Zuma in that position.
Yeah, it's true. But what,
you know what I mean?
With Mavropanos?
I mean, I think Mavropanos is all right. And actually, what surprises me is why they insisted on playing Zuma on the left-hand side. Automatically he's not the best on the ball, so we'll play him on the wrong foot. So he's playing on the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side, and it makes a massive difference. Yeah, it's not great at the moment, but this is the type of thing. Again, being a West Ham fan, you've been through it, Dan, plenty of times as well. We'll probably go and win on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Course, of course.
It's as much as I'm dreading it, we could easily win on Sunday, and it's like the fan base.
I was at Fulham, and it was just like it's such a weird atmosphere because it was just like, I mean the fans were absolutely brilliant. We were going the whole time, but it was just like these kind of games of like, I feel like. But the thing is, what's funny is this unpredictability of West Ham is like it's not new. I feel like it's like I remember being a kid and like I think about I feel like I've got quite a fairly balanced thing. I don't get too reactionary, whether it be the football's not great or this or Moyes has done this or I don't really. I'm just like kind of enjoying where we are because. I mean, I've seen us relegated twice in my lifetime, and I'm not that old.
You're not that old, Dad. You're not that old.
That's a lot of relegations, But then I've seen us win a European trophy, and like I think with I don't know, it's so tricky. I feel like, I don't know. You just got to enjoy it, haven't you? You
just got to just roll. I think at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen in terms of the dugout. Nothing's going to happen in terms of the board. For the rest of this season at least. So for me, it's like we just got to just run with it. And we're West Ham fans, we've been through a lot worse because we have been through a lot worse. People don't agree, but I think we have been through a lot worse.
A lot worse.
As you said, when you've been run out of, you're a young lad and you've been relegated twice in your career, in your lifetime of supporting West Ham already. It's as I said, the fact is after this Sunday, obviously next Sunday we've got Arsenal on the stadium, so there'll be a good atmosphere because there will be because it's Arsenal. You could well see Paqueta back, you could well see Antonio back, definitely Agüero will be back as well, and we'll have our full complement.
That Arsenal game it's my biggest game of the season every year. I mean,
I
know
suppose
people hate Spurs, people hate Chelsea, people hate everyone, but and I've got ill will towards most football teams. But Arsenal, growing up in North London, most of my mates are Arsenal fans. Pure delusion. They've got the worst takes there are. Bring on the warfare if there's any Arsenal fans watching.
Exactly, bring it on. There always will be. There always will be, Dan, because they come on and have a good old giggle when we go and have a good old giggle with their fan base channels as well, don't we?
Yeah, of course.
Right, let's do some ratings. Dan's going to join me for the ratings as well. As you said, we're going to go for this. I think we'll do it quite sharpish because there's not going to be a lot of good things to say about a lot of the team, to be honest. But if we, and obviously in the comments, don't forget to put the scores in. Obviously, you don't get any half points, just 4 points here. You don't get, 6.5. No, it's 6 or 7. So if we start with, where is it? Let's start with Areola. Thoughts on Areola yesterday, Dan?
I thought he was pretty brilliant yesterday. I mean, I think he's saved us quite a few times this season, and also I think his saves yesterday almost went a bit unnoticed. I don't know personally. I mean, I sit quite far back. I sit up in the clouds. So anyway, but like
not like me, I sit in the clouds. I'm in the big
cool.
white box.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so I feel like he saved us in many ways, numerous times this season. Also, I feel like his save yesterday went a bit unnoticed because I feel like we were expecting to do better than we were doing, and so I felt I was personally sat there going every time they had quite a clear-cut chance, I just went, "Oh, he saved it. Brush it over. We'll still get something out of this game." But I thought actually, when you kind of zoom in and I watched it back, he really, really saved our bacon a few times. So yeah,
too right. Yeah, I agree. I think I think there must have been 4 or 5 decent, awesome saves that he made. Awesome saves. I mean, we've got 8s, 7s, 10s, 9s. We lost badly. You're right. We would have, and I think that's he showed what it is to have a good goalkeeper, a good shot stopper. Not saying Fab isn't. I think Fab does a really good job, but for me, I think he's a better shot stopper than Fabianski. I think Fabianski's a bit more of a settling. I feel more. I don't feel more confidence. Wrong word, but I think the defense seems more settled when he's in goal. Whereas Arielsen's a bit erratic that way in terms of coming for the ball or whatever, but shot stopping, he's brilliant. He's much better than.
Yeah, out of the two of them, I know who I'd trust 100 times more. I feel like Areola's just he's I think like more game time, more consistency is only going to kind of like settle down that kind of the kind of maybe moments of erraticness. But I'm a big fan.
What would you give him out of 10, Dan?
I'd give him an 8.
Oh, you see, you and me, we're on the same page. 8s. I gave him an 8, and he was my man of the match.
Yeah,
he was my man of the match.
I'd agree with that 100%.
Right, let's move on to Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Ben Johnson, obviously back in. Obviously, Soufal suspended. John, as you said, last few games I've been really impressed by him. I thought he played all right yesterday. I thought he played okay yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he was decent. I feel like the tricky thing with kind of like Kufal and Kudus it's a random partnership, but it seems to have kind of developed a bit where they've kind of got to know each other playing together. And I feel like the one thing I felt yesterday was that Johnson and Kudus weren't really clicking on the same side. But I think he was decent yesterday. He was solid enough. He did what we needed. But yeah, I think it's a tricky one with him because I struggle to see how he officially breaks the team. I know there's like discussion about his contract and stuff at the moment and negotiations. It's tricky because I feel like we won't be able to guarantee him playing time. Saying that, in the cup the other week and he came on at CDM, that's the best he's ever looked. So it was
yeah. And I was talking to Mark, who was his youth team coach when he was in the academy, and he started off as a midfielder. So it was almost like I was like, well, you've done a shit job, ain't you? Because you converted him to right back, and actually, you should have fucking stayed in there. We would have had another Declan Rice because of you. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Anyway, no, good. Yeah, okay game. I'll be interested to see what happens on. I imagine Soufal comes back in on Sunday. To be honest, just because it's Man United, and I think Soufal has a better understanding with the rest of the side in that position. So it did seem both our fullbacks were a little shackled yesterday. They didn't like Emerson wasn't marauding forward as much as he did. Only towards the end, really, when he did it. So yeah, I gave. What did you give him?
I'll give him a 6.
See, we're on the same page. That's it. Yes, Daddy boy. Right, let's talk about Mavropanos then. Obviously, another game for him. Obviously, do you know what? I thought he actually played all right. Looking at it, I mean, he saved Zuma's arse quite a lot. I thought yesterday.
Yeah,
a lot of times yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty solid as well. I mean, like, it's one of those things where especially, I mean, I don't know, with centre backs where if you almost don't. I didn't notice him that much yesterday, which is probably a good thing. I don't think, like nothing to write home about, but again, nothing too abysmal to
Yeah,
But, like, you know, like I know he's had a mistake in him in his start to West Ham, but he had a pretty kind of solid game, I'd say.
Yeah, and I think you're right in terms of what you say. I think if a defender doesn't show off or he doesn't show up, you know, if you don't remember seeing a performance from a defender, he's probably done his job because he's done his job. He hasn't done anything exceptional, but he hasn't done anything shit either. He hasn't conceded a goal or he hasn't scored a 30-yard banger or whatever like that. Do you know what I mean? So, no, I think what would you have given Dino?
Oh, I mean, if I keep getting the same ones as you, people are going to think you sent me your list already, and we're
Go on
acting. But no, I'm going to give him a 6, I think.
I got a 6. Right, okay. All right, okay, right, here we go. Let's change it. I'm sure we'll change. Let's talk about Zuma.
This will be
As we said, yes. Strange game. Considering we've had a rest and he hasn't played for about 2 weeks, he looks like he played like on Monday night or Tuesday night. We just looked so bad. He was just
he played like he'd been
disaster zone.
He played like he'd been rushed back from injury or something.
Yeah,
it was just.
Or he'd been at the AFCONs and he'd come back not dead.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought he was. Yeah, he was pretty awful yesterday. I mean, like, I think it's just that first goal. It was funny because it was like the game hadn't even settled yet into like a kind of rhythm or a pattern before that goal went in, and it just kind of shocked. I know everywhere where I sit right by the away, and it just kind of shocked. I don't think anyone really was even angry at it because they didn't even really realize it had officially happened. But yeah, and then like watching it back and seeing he was completely at fault for it, and again, just on the ball, just a little bit stressful to like a bit unnerving.
I totally agree. I mean, I'd just gone for my wee. So I was just walking down the stairs because obviously I'm stuck up there for about 2 hours without a chance to go for a wee. So as soon as kickoff, I run to a wee. So nothing ever happens. And as I came, I saw the goal and I saw it go in. I thought, oh, that's offside. And then I'd gone to the toilet and then I'd heard on my radio VAR. I was, oh, bollocks.
Yeah.
It was just like, it just wasn't a great game for him. And I worry about what happens on Sunday if he's in the squad, if he starts. Yeah. Would I prefer Ogbonna really than him starting on Sunday? Probably. And I'm not even a big fan of Ogbonna at the moment. So, yeah. I don't know.
That's a tricky one.
It is a tricky one. I mean, I'd hope again he's back. I mean, he got knocked out over was it Tuesday or something like that? He's been playing he's played 4 games, all 90 minutes or whatever. So he's, he's okay to play. So you would assume he'd be all right. I don't know. What would you give Zuma then?
I feel like this is the one. This is the one that's gonna maybe divide us. I reckon I'm gonna give him a 4.
Fuck off. That's brilliant. Right, we've got to find someone to differentiate it. Emerson. Let's talk about Emerson then. I thought he was shackled yesterday. It seemed he was nullified with not having a left-sided, even Paqueta, even Benrahma, someone on the left-hand side. He looked a completely different player than we've seen all season. Would you agree?
I 100% agree. And also, I mean, I've been saying this. I know so many players are worthy of all the plaudits this season, be it Bowen, be it Kudus, be it Paqueta. But for me, like, Emerson's been one of our best players this season by a country mile. He's been creative, he's been progressive, he's defended solidly. He's really gone under the radar, like in the kind of general media, not just in the West Ham circles, as to like how actually good he is as a fullback. But I 100% agree with you that he felt shackled yesterday. I felt like I mean, when you're playing with like 6 centre mids, it's difficult to progress the ball, and I think it's kind of scary how much we rely on Paqueta to like pull the strings, even as a not pacey left winger, playing left wing. Emerson kind of offers. He's got a little bit of pace. He's got a bit of creativity. But if you've got no one to bounce off in that sense, you've got Ward-Prowse playing in front of you on the left, technically, or wherever Souček was playing yesterday. It makes it. He was shackled, I think, by our system, 100%. So, but still, I think he's still solid.
Yeah, was there a system? I don't even think there was a system. Do you know what I mean? It seemed like we just picked 11 players, and he sort of had a rough idea where they were going to play. He's the back 4, the 2 up front. You 4 just do whatever. It was like almost like jazz. It's like just it's like formation jazz. Just play with it. Just go with it, guys. And we're not that talented to be able to do it. But I just thought, I feel really bad. I mean, Emerson has been my Hammer of the Year nomination this year. I just think it might change a little bit with if Kudus has a great end second half of the season and whatnot. But I think Emerson's been brilliant. But all right, what would you have scored him then? What have you scored him?
I'd give him a 6. Oh wow, this is
weird. This is weird. Right, okay. Let's try. Okay, Phillips. Okay, let's talk about Calvin. Home debut, first time he started, I think, in the Premier League since his time at Leeds, I believe, maybe.
Yeah.
Wasn't an easy game for him to come into, particularly with a few seconds in the game kicking off, and gave the goal away. As we said, it's very much it was a Zuma issue, I would say, and you agreed. I thought he looked rusty.
Yeah, I'd agree with Rusty. I think for me it was like, when I was, what you were saying earlier, when I was in the pub and the team sheet came out, we were trying to work out who was playing where. You saw the kind of the names, and it was like, right, Souček, okay, there's a lot of centre mids here. Like on paper, an Alvarez Calvin Phillips CDM partnership is kind of a bit of a dream too. Like it's kind of near as good as it gets as a West Ham fan. I did feel that the only thing with the kind of, and one of my big fears about the kind of Phillips Alvarez pairing is that they're both so defensive and not that progressive with the ball. Whereas, and you saw it yesterday where it felt like there were moments where they were both of them were trying to progress the ball better. And it just, for me, it's just like Phillips played a few kind of hit and hope long passes up top that just kind of went a bit wayward to no one, straight to the keeper or straight out. I thought Rusty's definitely the word. I think I'm excited to see him. When I saw his name on the team sheet, I was buzzing because I was like, I can't wait to see him play.
We all were. Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, I want to see him in a team where there's more creativity in front of him and more attacking flair, so that he feels like he can fit into a mold properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the thing with Phillips is, when he was at his pomp, you got to think in that lead side, he had the likes of Rafinha, he had some really good technical players around him. And I think, I genuinely think that side yesterday with maybe a Souček not there and a Paqueta there, it looks totally different. And for me, it's that one change realistically, and maybe it was the centre back, but that one change, that midfield we'd have so much more creativity. And I mean, Phillips has got, when you look at his stats when he was at Leeds, really good for basically winning the ball and getting that counter attack straight away. I think it's called shot shot chances or something like that. So basically, when you win the ball and you immediately get on the counter attack. So he's perfect for Moyes. He is perfect for the Moyes ball, but there was no counter attack because it was so nullified. So I think once you get that back, once you get Paqueta in there and just him drifting out and people, because then naturally the defense are going to be looking at Paqueta, but also they've got Kudus there, they've got Bowen there. You've got three really good attacking options there, which the defense is going to have to keep an eye on. So there's going to be space, there's going to be gaps to put balls into. So I think you're going to see a different player. But yeah, I'm glad he's got the ring rust out of him yesterday. And us as West Ham, we're always shit. We come back from a break, aren't we? For some reason, we are crap. International break, winter breaks, anything. We are crap that first game back. So hopefully we've got out of our system, and then we see a Calvin Phillips masterclass on Sunday if he plays. What did you score him?
I'm going to give him maybe a 5.
What did I give him? I gave him a 4.
There you go.
I gave him a 5. There we go. This is just weird now. Okay, let's talk about Alvarez quickly. Obviously, he had a knock the last game, didn't he? But he's back. I didn't think he got going yesterday. He looked like he'd just come back from an injury. Do you know what I mean? It seemed to be where Phillips looked like he was not up to the match speed. So did Alvarez, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I think also, like I said about that pairing, is that was my only worry with it. Is it is so like playing two CDMs like that is so defensive. And the one thing that was so strong about the Declan Rice Souček partnership was that Souček was always up for kind of pushing up. And whether we'll see that from from Calvin we'll have to wait and see. But Alvarez is so good at just sitting deep and just breaking up play and winning the ball back. And I feel like he was solid yesterday. He did his job. He was okay, but I completely agree. Didn't feel like he got really out of second gear. He kind of was just like, he kind of just stayed on one level. There wasn't really, and then I almost felt for him. There were times where it felt like it almost like fell on his lap that he had to try and create going forward as well, because we were playing so defensively. And I just don't think that's really his strongest part of his game. So like it was a bit hard to watch. But yeah, he was fine. He was fine.
I thought he just seemed. I mean, again, I've likened it to, and this you'll remember this more than me. When you're at school, the first day back, and you try to write, and it's almost like you've forgotten how to write, with a pen, and and it's almost like their first day back, and they've forgotten how to play football. Everything was like slightly overhit. Everything was a little bit like not to feet. It was a bit panicky, and it was almost like I just thought we just seemed to not have any cohesion. It just seemed to be really, really bitty. Or even like it's almost like a side has just turned up, like a pub side, and you've got John who plays for another side, and Bob who's usually a left back, but we've got to play him up front. It just seemed a bit like that, like thrown together. And we're a professional football team apparently. So what did you rate Alvarez then?
Because I'm in that kind of place. This might be the one that I'm not too sure. It might be the one that finally breaks our deadlock. I would say he's kind of. I know we don't do halves, but he's somewhere between a 5 and a 6 yesterday. I'm probably going to give him a 6.
Okay, what do I give him? 5. Yes. Finally, we've broken the duck.
At this point, I thought we was just trying to get. I thought we were just going to match up. It was getting too close to a 4-11.
It's getting too close. Right, let's go through. Let's talk about JWP. Or someone called him lukewarm Prowse, which was quite funny. I thought that's really good. Actually, I think it was on the Hammers chat. They called him lukewarm Prowse.
That's solid.
So yeah, I mean, he played about 20 positions yesterday, didn't he? I felt sorry for him. But penalties. Why Ben Rama took that penalty his last penalty the other day? Generally, he absolutely fluffed it. I mean, he's the man, isn't he? I mean, he's got something ridiculous in terms of his goal contributions this season. Granted, he does take all the free kicks, all the penalties, all the crosses, but still, I felt sorry for him a little bit yesterday. I really did, a little bit.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, there were times where he was almost playing like left wing, and we just know that's just not his.
No,
that's not his.
I don't know but I don't know what his position is. It's like because they've been playing him at like. As a double pivot, really, when Alvarez hasn't been there. That's like a CDM role, and that's not his position either. And his position is not on the left hand side. His position is straight through the middle, and it's like, are we? Again, I'm just throwing it out. Are we shoehorning JWP in because he's a good taking free kicks? Don't know.
Hey, listen, like that. I mean, I was going to say the same thing, but I was fearful of controversy. I think, like,
no, we love it.
Like, I'm a big fan of him. I like what he adds to the team. I like the immediate impact he had. I like the whole thing about how players were coming up to him, telling him where to put it on a plate from a corner, and we were scoring every third quarter or something. I love that. That was super exciting. I worry. This is what I mean by I feel like we just have too many central midfield players at the moment, whether it be DM, like whoever it is. We have so many central players and not very much pace. And I feel like the last I'd say the last kind of few months, the last couple of months, he's just really kind of like, he's kind of gone a little bit more under the radar. And again, like you said, it was like, when we were bringing in Calvin Phillips, I was like, who drops out? And I just wonder whether, especially if we need to kind of, I still feel like we need to bring in a left-sided, more pacey attacking winger.
Yeah, I think we all feel that. Yeah.
Who does he come into the team for? And it's like, is Ward-Prowse a little bit in danger? I'm not too sure, because Souček is a bit harsh to get dropped because he's been so decent this season at times.
I think it's difficult. I think it's because there is an argument to drop JWP. There is an argument to drop Souček because someone will have to be dropped when Paqueta comes in. I've always thought that actually people go, "Oh, we've never dropped Souček," and I've begged to differ because we've wanted I mean, I call Calvin Phillips a Moyes hard-on player. He's always had a hard-on for him since, at Leeds. And when we were happy to pay 50 million quid for him to partner Dex. So, for him and Deck, that would have mean Souček would have got dropped anyway. And this was 18 months ago, 2 years ago. So I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility of Souček being dropped for certain games to accommodate Phillips in the side. But that being said, Souček, I think he's got 8 goals this season. I think the most he had for West Ham is 10. And we've still got a good, 20 games left, some of that the season, including the Europa League, hopefully. He's in the top 10 Premier League goal scorers of us for all time, which is mental.
That's so worrying, isn't it?
I think he's next up is Lanzini. He's got to take over him, and he's played something like 60 games less or something. It's mental. But I think JWP does have a sense of calmness, where I think Alvarez to me is quite erratic. I think Souček's a bit, got like in terms of energy levels. JWP does have that level of calmness, which I think sometimes you need. But look, we'll see what happens in it. I mean, to be honest, he won't have to think about that issue for Man United, but the Arsenal game, you have to have that issue because Paqueta will be back. Yeah. All right. What do you give JWP then?
I think I'm trying not to base it on just kind of his entirety of his season rather than just this one game. But I'd say because of the goal, I'd give him a 6.
I can't put I gave him.
I
think I gave him a 6. Yeah, we're back. We're back. 6.
Back on track.
Back on track. No, I agree. Let's talk about Tommy Souček quickly. Let's bring you back in. There we go. Let's talk about Tommy. Again, played about 27 different positions yesterday. Apparently, Tommy Souček has scored more goals this season than average passes each game. There we go.
What a stat!
What a stat! Obviously, played in a more advanced role. Particularly without that's the trouble, because you haven't got a striker as such. You're almost pushing up Souček to be that sort of false 9 almost. And we have spoke about the Fellaini model, and that pretty much is Souček's role in my opinion. But he never looked comfortable yesterday. And he never does. He never does look comfortable when he plays. He's always gets me on edge slightly in terms of when he has the ball or when he's tackling. It always seems a bit worried when he's around.
He's a little bit flaily with his limbs. I feel like when he, I was trying to, as you were saying that, I was trying to think of the exact word for it. But flaily is like even when he tackles, it's always very like limb.
Yes,
it just felt a bit. It felt a bit. I don't know. It was tough, but also expecting. I mean, Souček is like you said. I mean, it does feel more and more like we are playing the vintage Everton model. Souček is Fellaini, and I think he's almost like what I always felt as when I was younger watching Fellaini play for Everton was I was always surprised every time he did something impressive, but he always did something quite impressive. Souček's a bit like that to me, where he works better when you don't expect too much from him in a way when you're watching him. Yesterday there was an expectation for him to play false 9, CAM, drifting out to wings, dropping back to CDM. I didn't really understand what his role was. And again, that's a bit of the system, but also I 100% agree that there's a meh-ness about Souček when I see him on the team sheet where I'm like, he's not going to have an awful game. Is he going to do something amazing? I don't think so.
He's
tricky.
Sort of like he's a plodder. I think he just plods along, he will be, and he is there, he is there for his height when it comes to set pieces as well. There's no denying that in terms of what he brings. The out ball from Areola 9 times out of 10 was a looped ball to Tommy Souček. He was the man doing flick-ons for throw-ons. Anyone who watches the game again, how many foul throws did Ben Johnson do? It was ridiculous. No one people up on foul throws. Literally every throw Ben Johnson did yesterday was a foul throw. But anyway, massive.
It's a good on that. What's funny about that is I played first time in absolute years. I played 11 asides Sunday League on Hackney Marshes. But honestly, the first time in absolute years.
Yeah.
Came on as a bit of a ringer. Came on at right back, which was an absolute mistake for everyone. And I was getting done for foul throws every time. And it was honestly like
Ben Johnson. I've learned from Ben Johnson.
Yeah, it's good. I grew up watching Benny Johnson, and I was just like,
But
he's taught me everything
what
I
was
know about this.
interesting yesterday was obviously we didn't have the fantastic long throw of Vladimir Sufal, which doesn't ever work. But for some
Never
reason,
worked.
Mavropanos took one. And it was like, that defeats the object because you're the tallest fucking player we've got, mate. And you're taking the throw in. It's like when Antonio used to take the long throw ins. It's like, no, you should be standing in front of the keeper. It's just,
Now
oh,
we've got
it's
no
just
centre
almost like,
forward. Yeah, yeah.
oh, yeah, exactly. What did you give him? What would you give Tommy Suchek?
I'm struggling to give him anything beyond a 5.
Yeah, be honest. Five he gave him, and guess what? Guess
There you
what?
go.
I gave him a 5 as well. Right,
Yeah.
let's go with Kudus. Mohamed Kudus back from obviously international duty. Much, obviously we wanted him to do well personally, but we didn't want him to do well in terms of Ghana because we wanted him back because he's such an important player for us. No, I thought he's one of our best players yesterday. I thought him and Areola were the best two. Every time he gets the ball, he's so hard to shove off, isn't he? He's so like he's such a muscle. He's just like a real little compact muscle. And Lloyd Kelly had a right poor show against him, I thought. What do you think about Mo yesterday?
Yeah, well, on like the like Afcon business about how well we wanted him to do. What I found difficult. I've got quite a few more pals growing up. I've got quite a few mates that are Ghanaian, and I feel like Kudus coming to West Ham really brought us together in our
Yeah.
unity of football. And then as soon as Afcon started and he left West Ham, the fallout happened. And it was just like we want him back, and I don't care what it takes. But yeah, so obviously, yeah, shame he didn't do very well, but also good for us. Good to have him back. But yeah, tricky again. I think again the shape that whatever shape it was that we did play, that we tried to play, didn't give him ample opportunity to really create in a way that again I didn't think it really clicked with him and Ben Johnson. Whereas normally he's got a bit of back and to and fro with Kufa. For me, I feel like he was good. He was good because he's good, rather than he played especially well yesterday. But I think he's just a class. He's like a class above. When you said about compact muscle, he's so balanced. I think the ability to just like stay up when people are like going for him, and he's just like he's so balanced and he's so strong. And it would have been nice to see maybe a little bit more kind of like straight, direct attacking threat. But I think again the way we played just didn't really allow that. But yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, it always seems, I think at times they're almost playing, him and Bowen two up front, but just one side and the other side one on the left, one on the right. And obviously they interchange. And I think came to a point, particularly in the second half, where he just thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed to like there was 9 times out of 10 there was a ball out to Ben Johnson. Fuck it, I'm going to cut inside and try and get this game back on track. And I thought he played all right. Again, he's still I still don't think he's 100% fit from his injury beforehand. Obviously, then he was sort of forced, so to speak, to play for Ghana. But look, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think he'll be, Old Trafford, he'll be wanting to put on a show, big pitch at Old Trafford, lots of space to run into. We know United can concede. We know they can score as well, but I think he'll have a field day. I think on Sunday. I hope. What did you give him? What did you give him?
See, I'm going to go for a score that I feel fairly confident you're going to go for as well. I'm going to give him a 7.
What have I given him? A 7. Okay, a 7. Yeah. Because for me, it was a good return to form, a good return back. But I wouldn't say it was a vintage performance for him. And still to get 7 from not a vintage performance shows what a good player is. And we'll end on Bowen. We won't do any of the subs because I never tend to do the subs. Bowen, obviously back from relative injury as well. I thought he was quite harshly booked. But he got a slight touch on Ward-Prowse's cross when the ball came. He should have, in the second half, there was a ball that came across, wasn't he? And he was at the back post, and it just that was it. I thought he struggled a little bit yesterday. I think he does sometimes struggle when he has to play that striker role on his own. Physically, I don't think it's right for him to do that. Where like someone like Antonio, I was talking to someone after the game yesterday, where Antonio, you have a situation where he'll just keep running and he'll just, I don't rate him particularly highly, but he'll just keep running and he'll boss people around and keep going. That's part of his game. That's not part of Bowen's game. I think we lose a massive chunk of Jarrod Bowen when we play him up top on his own with no support. And I felt sorry for him yesterday, to be honest, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, like again, I think it's like this whole kind of new adapted centre forward thing is tricky. Like we all have games like this where a striker gets left on their own. This is why we've seen so many strikers fail at West Ham. It's like the reason why he's worked so well this season is almost like when we need a centre forward, what we really need is a winger who, basically like a kind of 3-in-1. It's like someone who can do it all, basically. Hold the ball up, finish it, and also like kind of drift out and play on the wing as well. And kind of like you kind of need a hybrid. And that's why Antonio's worked so well for so many years. Again, don't rate him overtly highly either, but I agree. I think it's tricky, and it really shows that he's not a proper out and out centre forward when he's left on his own for that long. But to be fair, if I turned around and I saw 6 centre mids looking at me, and I knew that they were the ones having to create my, set me up.
Yeah, good point.
I think I'd be struggling as well. I mean, I would struggle anyway. Sorry, that wasn't me. That was
normally I'd be shit hot, but I'll be struggling if there's
me at right back with my foul throws. No, but he was. I thought. I mean, he had a tough game, but I think that's going to happen, and I'm not worried about his form. I feel like he's going to drift straight back into.
And as I said, you're right, because he's got that form behind him. He can fall back to that form. He can know, he's so clinical. You give him a chance, and 9 times out of 10, he will at least hit the target. And then Christ knows what happens. But I know what you mean. For me, he just, when it works really well. So when him, Kudus, Paqueta as a 3, interchanging, they're a nightmare for defenses. I think when you haven't got all 3 of them there, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. For me, it would have made more sense, and I think to a lot of people would have probably made more sense if they'd stuck Danny up top. Not my cup of tea up top on his own, but to be honest, he's having a go and he does try hard. But Danny and then put one Kudus and one Wimborne in the other. They can swap over each. That to me made more sense than playing what he did yesterday. But that's why we're here, and we don't get paid to make those decisions. From a fan's perspective, that's what it seems to make sense. But clearly, he did this new idea which didn't work. But what did you give Bowen? What did Bowen get?
I could probably give him a 6.
And just to finish it off, of course, I got a 6 as well. So 10 out of 11 there. It's quite impressive. Danny, man. So obviously, anyone new to the channel, anyone new who's just come on, obviously, Danny's band Kawala had their song played at halftime. Danny's a massive West Ham fan, and obviously the new song, you've got it there, American Adrenaline, on Spotify. Any gigs coming up?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm allowed to say really, but no, yeah, we're basically no, I will, no, why not? We're going away with the band Bombay Bicycle Club, classic North London.
Cool. West Ham fans as well, Bombay Bicycle Club as well.
Yeah, we kind of bonded over that at one point. It's quite fun. I didn't really believe him, but then in the same way that I'm from North London as well, so I was like, but yeah, so we're going away with them in a few weeks, just around the UK, and then we're going out to Europe, and then we've got a big London show in May as well. So the big
brilliant.
London show.
So when we've won the Europa League, we can have that as a good party then. That sounds
well. That's call it the big celebration.
Because actually, it's not just you that's playing in London in May. Chesney Hawks is playing a big gig in London at the end of May as well. So it's just going to be one massive. Hopefully not the 31st of May, is it?
Oh no, it's not. I think this is. Ours will be on like the 22nd. So
that's all right. It's all right. So it's a week-long party when we've won. But I think he's playing at the Forum. I think. But anyway, so check them out, and obviously we'll put all the details in afterwards of where they can see you. And actually, if you go on my Twitter, guys, I think we've posted. Or no, I think I'm tagged on a post of showing them the music when it's played in the stadium or whatever the video, and you can see there you've got their details there for all that type of stuff. Danny, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much, man.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, mate.
And
I mean, any opportunity as a musician to get to talk about West Ham is a dream for me, to be honest. So.
exactly, rather than talk about music, talk about your other
Yeah,
passion
good.
as well.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I get that totally. Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant, mate. I can't remember what I was going to say, but that's it. When it comes to West Ham, and it comes to helping each other and being one of their own and stuff like that, I'm sure the West Ham Network community will go on and start streaming that song like crazy, because it all helps, and it all helps profile the band and stuff.
That mean a lot.
Indeed, man. Right, I'm going to kick you out, and then I'm going to be done anyway, man. But thank you very much, Geezer.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much for having me. Cheers, mate.
No worries, man. Take care. Stay in touch, Geese. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
nice one.
Kick
Cheers.
you up. No worries, mate. Cheers. There we go. There's Dan. Lovely guy. What a lovely guy. Dan from Kawala. His song American Adrenaline. Available on Spotify. Nice poppy tune. Anyway, as I said, what we're going to do is we're going to do the monthly draw. So every month, for anyone who's new to the channel, we do a monthly draw for our members. Members, a couple of quid a month, supports the channel, and you automatically get entered into, basically pays for your money. It's like a raffle ticket in essence, and you get entered into a monthly draw every month to win some West Ham signed stuff. Now we've got two prizes. Shall I? Yeah, that's it. We'll do the runner-up prize first. That makes sense, doesn't it? Run-up prize is a deflated, because it's easier to ship, West Ham signed football from our channel partners at Umbro. These are all squiggles. I can't tell. I don't know where that one is. Is that Paqueta? Probably. Four nows is on there. Sad. Sad cry. Zuma maybe. Oh. Again, he's put the number next to it, 27. So is that Paqueta or Bowen? I think that one's Bowen. I think that's Bowen. So yeah, nice one there. So we're going to do that, draw that. Also, members get added. They get extra content as well, exclusive content. And as I said, let me just wait for my thing to turn up. There we go. Right, we're going to spin this one. Good luck, everybody. Balls, indeed, balls. So this is the first one, and then the second one we'll be doing the main prize, which is very cool. So let's quickly share my screen, and we'll do that draw now. Good luck, everyone who's a channel member. Let's run that spin that ting. I don't know why I said ting. I'm not. I'm sounding like I'm 42. Right, and the winner is Bedfordshire Hammers. Bedfordshire Hammer, well done. If you're watching, congratulations. Send me an email at westhamnetwork@gmail.com. We'll get that sent out to you. I also need to send out Michael's, and I need to send out Alan's as well. So I'll send out Michael's in the chat, and I'll do it all in one big hit because it's easier. So that is for the first prize. The second prize, ladies and gentlemen, is, again, from our lovely channel sponsors at Umbro, is the current season shirts with all the bubbles. Could you imagine Jordan Hugo would have loved this? I like all the bubbles. And that's signed with the likes of we got again JWP, Pablo Fornells, Caduce. We've got some others. I have no Mavropanos. No idea who that is, but that's a signed West Ham shirt. That would look lovely in someone's house. Would look lovely here, wouldn't it? But no. It's for you guys. So that's going to go to our channel members. Let me just spin that. Good luck, everybody. Who is a channel member, of course. We won't remove him because he's just got enough chance as everyone else. Right. What size is it? I don't know. You wouldn't wear it, would you? Would you wear it? And that's going to go to Bernie Badnam. Long time support of the channel. Well done, Bernie. Congratulations. If you email us at westhamnetwork@gmail.com, we'll get that sent out to you over the next week. And as I said, I will also send Michael his and Alan his as well. Yes, but Alan will take a bit longer having to go to Australia. But we'll do that and they'll get it to. In terms of size, if you are interested, but you wouldn't wear it, surely. XL. XL. That looks small for an XL, isn't it? But I don't know. I haven't bought an XL, something XL for years. A few, there's not enough X's on there for me, but we'll get that sent out. So well done, Bernie. Well done to Bedfordshire Hammer as well. If you email us, we'll get that sent out to you straight away. Now we'll have that next month. We've got some more signed shirts for next month. Last season signed shirts, got a couple of them, and also we've got some more balls. So actually, I've just switched it on. I don't mean to do that. For my lovely channel sponsors at Umbro. We've already done the Hammers headlines. We did the David Moyes press conference earlier today. So that was done. And we might do a little show tonight. Irish Tommy is driving to Tipperary. Is a long way to go, apparently. So maybe myself and Anton might do it tonight. So keep an eye out on the channel and all that good stuff. Any news, any developments about the Fornal saga and the Ben Rama saga, we will bring to you as soon as we get it. Garino says later than the Benny is Leon appealed to FIFA, but the appeal was rejected. There are some claims that the agent's name was left off the paper. Not agents again, left off the paperwork. All that cannot be confirmed. That could indicate there were last-minute agent issues. We do know that, I was about to say, I do know that Benny has changed agents, but he has. So maybe it could have been something, maybe. FIFA launched an investigation into the collapse of Powder on deadline day. And Alan, thanks for first time inputter on our shows. I've been watching for a good couple of years now. But Moyes, for me, will only do well the day he off. There we go. On that bombshell. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alan. If you like what we do, don't forget to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Don't forget to also go, if you've got Spotify, go and check out Dan's track and stream it. Always helps the guys out, which is always great. We always try and help each other out when we can, can't we, West Ham lot? And all that good stuff. just curious. It's usually the cheapest one. It's usually when they do the signed shirts. What about the others? Let me get my bag. Got my bag. So for the next, we've got some of these from next week. We've got, that's a large. That one's a large. It's obviously what they have, whoever's cheapest to mass produce, isn't it? Because it's usually kids' shirts they get signed. Because they're cheaper, aren't they? Anyway, on that bombshell, don't forget to like, comment, share that good stuff, and I'll be back. And then we get ready for the Arsenal game. That means all the fun and the fair with that. So anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Don't forget American Adrenaline on Spotify. Dan's track, really good. We'll get you pumping for you, get you up for a night out tonight. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye, peeps. Bye. Eds.